Hello, it's Krzysztof and Ernest again.
Hi.
Welcome to the third part of our Lands of Evershade development update. In the first development video, we've shown you the character creation. In the second, we took the characters we have created on a short exploration in Evershade to show you the basics of the game and how the exploration works. And today, in the final development update, we will focus on combat. So, since the last time we've played, the state of the game has progressed quite a bit.
Yes, and now we are in chapter 2.
Yeah.
We've made some progress, advanced our characters a bit, and story-wise we have reached Whitewell, made some quests there, and descended into the underground.
Yes, so the sheet you see on the right is the dungeon under the city of Whitewell, where we visited some rooms and some sections.
We have encountered some traps, made a riddle, and at the end we have encountered a big room with some strange things.
Yes, exactly. The party model is here, right next to the big door that we just opened by solving a riddle. And when the door opened, we've noticed that inside is a giant room with floating tomes of forgotten knowledge and with a very big guy, presumably an archivist or a librarian, who is glitching in and out of the existence. His body split into several parts, and he told us that we will not take anything from the archive and basically attacked us. So this triggered a combat. This asked us to add the combat sheet, a sheet that shows the layout of the archive, and...
Yes, and beside the sheet, combat setup told us to set up enemy cards and their enemy activation cards, and also to prepare
initiative back. Yeah. All in all, it took probably less than 5 minutes, and we're basically ready to begin the combat. However, before we make our first move and start the first turn of combat, there is probably one thing we can discuss that was the most often, I think, asked question during the second update. And it was the secret sheet size. Players asked, is this the final format of the secret sheet? Can they be larger? So, Ernest, what can we say about the secret sheets?
Today we have two sheets similar in size to the ones we had in the second one, and we aim to fit with this size, to fit with the size of the box, the sheet.
So the size of the sheet will be similar to the footprint of the box for easy storage. Right now the sheet is a little bit smaller than the box. We will see what is the final size of the box, and then the sheets will probably grow a little bit.
Probably.
Yeah.
We have also said that we want to stick with only two sheets on the table, but it is possible that we will use two sheets, for example, for only one combat, to make the combat bigger, to give players more space.
Yes, so whenever the story calls for a major set piece, such as, I don't know, giant battle, or perhaps a very, very large piece of land that you have to explore, we will use, in fact, in one case we already use, multiple sheets to present one scene. And there's also one general reason for the way we use secret sheets, for their size and for everything. In Lands of Evershade, our main goal is to recreate in a board game a feeling of a grand RPG-like adventure. So we don't have a rigid structure like in many boss battler games where you explore for an hour and then you have this giant boss battle played on a huge board. Here the combats come and go depending on the story. So this already gives us a framework to work with when designing combat for Lance of Evershade. So we know that combats need to be quick to set up. As we've told you, it's around 5 minutes to set up a combat like this. And we know they shouldn't generally be longer than 30-40 minutes. That's because then we have those nice play sessions where you start off by, for example, going into a dungeon, then you have a first initial combat, then you explore some more, you make a story decision that leads to another combat, and perhaps then finally you reach some kind of a boss or some kind of final encounter, and it all fits into a roughly 3-hour long play session. That being said, we still needed Lance of Evershade combats to be very dynamic, very interesting and very fun, and we hope you will be able to see it for yourself today.
I think we may start with the combat. Okay, so what are we facing?
Yes, we have 3 enemy cards here. The first card is called Figmented Archivist, so that's this guy.
Yeah, it seems like our main opponent.
Yeah.
He is followed with small vestigials, represented with this small
So the small
miniatures.
haunted books are next, and they will multiply as far as I can see from their cards.
The last card is environment. So the mosaic of this room is somehow connected with the archivist and...
Yes, so we have
Crafted.
4 shields with symbols of major houses of Whitewell, and as far as I can see from the card, they will in a certain order radiate energy that's very deadly to us. So we have a boss, minions, and an environmental effect that we have to keep watch for.
Objective of our combats is to defeat the archivist, and looking at vestigials and this mosaic, it seems we should do it as quick as we can.
Yeah, so the plan for now is to basically try to focus the guy down, and we'll see how it goes. The first thing we do is to decide who goes first.
Yes, combat is divided into activations made by the players and the enemies, and
So I'm mixing the activation bag, and the activation bag contains 3 types of tokens: black tokens, white tokens, and dual tokens, and they decide basically who goes next. So let's see. We're hoping for white one, and we have a black one. So unfortunately,
we activate the
archivist goes first. Yep. So let's draw his activation cards.
When
he
we
has a small
activate
deck with
enemy,
3 cards.
Take his card, and the first step of his activation is to keep distance. Place an archivist in an empty triangle space farthest from any character.
So we look at all spaces that have triangles. This one here, and this one here. This one is taken. He's here, so this one doesn't count. This one or this one. And
farthest from any
farthest.
character, so probably number 3 is...
yeah, because this is closer to you. Okay.
So we move the archivist.
Oh, and his second step is called Explosion. Remove 1 small vestigial closest to the archivist. So again, which one is closest?
Definitely this
Yeah.
one.
And deal player number +2 damage to each character in range 4 from the removed vestigial.
Range means number of spaces between like target and character.
So this is range 1, range 2, range 3. I'm in range 3, and you're further
and I'm
away.
safe.
Yeah, you're safe. And it's probably a good moment to also talk about the general philosophy of attacks in Lance of Evershade. So basically, if your character does nothing with an attack incoming at them, they will receive the attack. So the attack always hits if you do nothing. You have to actively try to mitigate or avoid the attack. So I will now receive, if I do nothing, I basically receive 4 damage. This is a big chunk of my life, so I will try to defend myself the best I can. So this guy disappears. and I get to defend myself against the attack. I am a high agility character. I will use dodge, a card based on the agility, and this leads me to a roll. So, do you have anything you could support me with?
I could, if I can.
yeah.
I can, yes. I have combat insight. I can support you with 1 die if you
know what?
need.
On the other hand, we want to focus him down, so I would save supports for attacks against the boss, and let's try to
That seems
use
wise.
this to defend myself. So, agility, I have a free agility, but, I get -1 die for each point of armor to my dodge roll. So, the armor I'm wearing makes my dodge worse.
So maybe I could support you, because you roll only with 1 die.
With
you
2.
have 2 agility.
Oh,
and
2 agility, yeah.
So do you want support?
Do I need the support? Yeah, I think I'll take the support.
So I will exhaust my card.
Again,
take 1 die.
Again, it would
support you.
It would be really silly to lose half of my health during the first activation.
Okay, so I think we can roll.
Okay, it's not bad.
Because you have
the difficulty of the attack is 10. I have a 10. Okay, I'm safe. So the basic dodge prevents 3 damage, but I also have 1 point of armor. So I'm preventing 4 damage, which means I've essentially negated the entire explosion. So I'm not hurt, and that's it for the first activation. All right, we've activated the enemy. Now it's time for the next activation. And one more important thing I could mention is that the way the activation bug works is again dictated by the story. So if we would surprise the enemy, we would have more of our tokens in the bag. And for example, if the enemy would surprise us, they would have more tokens. And there are many skills and abilities that influence the content of the bag.
So what we want to show you later.
Yes, we'll show those later. But for now, we have to draw another activation. And this time it's a dual token. So the token with 2 sides, white and black. And the way it works is basically it's the opposite of the previous activation. So if the enemy acted before us, it's a white token. If we acted before it's a black token. So for us, it's white. We can activate any of our characters, and now let's quickly think who to activate. So your plan is probably to shoot the guy.
Yes, I have bow, some shoot actions, and also some actions which support that way of attacking. But I think you have more support actions.
Yes, if we want to focus him down, I have lots of support actions that could empower us for the rest of the combat, and it's best to use those kind of things at the start. And I also have a very, very strong attack, a paladin skill called Guided Smite, that uses my Divinum dice for additional damage, and I even have an heirloom signet that allows me to roll 2 Divinum dice, basically adds another Divinum die. So that's a way to deal an enormous amount of damage, but I would have to basically empower myself a bit before I do this attack to make sure it lands.
There's also one important thing about activating the character, because when the character activates, they refresh their action cards.
Yes, and I already used my dodge. So
it would be wise for you to activate, I think.
I would have a dodge for in case, for example, the enemy goes next and hits me. So I'll activate myself if you have nothing against it. I'm refreshing my dodge.
Go on.
Yeah, and the first thing I will do is a battle prayer. So again, it's roll for charisma.
I cannot help you this time.
And Divinum. My Divinum is D6. So I have a Charisma of 3. I have Divinum of 6. Let's see where it takes us. Okay, so that's a bad roll. I need 8 to basically pull off this spell, and I have no 8s at all, and my Divinum roll is pretty low, so I will pay with my Fate token, my only Fate token, to reroll this. And again,
It's even worse.
It's even worse, but at least I have 1 here, so I would get my Fate token back. Yeah, I think that's
So
a
there's no side effect when you fail a battle prayer action.
yeah. So that's it basically. I have failed. I'm getting a Fate token
2 fate tokens because
I have failed the roll and rolled the 1. Yeah. So I have 2 Fate, and that was the first of my 2 actions. Each character in their turn gets 2 actions, and outside of your turn you get any number of reactions. So the cards we have in on our hotbar are divided into actions and reactions. I can use 2 action cards per turn, so Battle Prayer is used. So let's move on to plan B, the command. The command ability allows me to add more of our tokens to the activation bag. Let's try this basically. So roll for charisma again, and I have many charisma abilities. And the difficulty is 8, and yet again, I haven't got a single die above 8. But since I failed the previous roll, I have Fate to reroll.
Oh, and that's better.
Okay, that's good. That's very good actually, because I'm rolling 11 and a 12. 12 is a critical success, so I have 3 successes, and my command cards says add the number of successes to the initiative bag. So we're adding 3 white tokens to the bag. That's quite a lot. Let's do this in a second. And now my activation is complete. Okay, so let's add 3 white activation tokens to the bag. Let's mix the bag and
let's see who activates next. That's and again dual token.
Dual token. So since we went the last time, now it's a black token that goes on top of the enemy, and we are activating small vestigials. Yep.
Small vestigials are minions. It means they are a simple enemy with very simple moveset.
Yeah, they have only 1 card in their deck that will keep repeating. Let's reveal this right now. Okay, so they basically do 2 simple things. First is advance, move 2 spaces toward the closest player. So who's the closest to this vestigial one? 4 and you're 1. Again, I'm the closer. So he goes 2 spaces toward me. I don't like this because if he explodes, I will get hit again. And then he does Reality Rift, deals 1 terror to each character in range 2.
But you are in range 3,
yeah,
so you are safe.
So I'm safe.
But we must
yes. After activating all minions,
to not let them get close to us.
Yeah, if he's in range 2 of you, that's bad because we've told you about the damage, but there's also a terror, and terror fills your aura slots, which means you only can take 4 terror before you are eliminated from combat. So getting 1 terror is not ideal. Right. And after activating all minions, spawn vestigials on triangle spaces. For 1 or 2 players, we should add the 1 small vestigial to the empty triangle's place closest to the archivist.
I think these 2 spaces are closest.
Yes. So yes, they are exactly at the same distance. So we can choose which one of them, and we probably choose the furthest one.
Yeah,
so here.
I think it's wise.
Yeah. So a new enemy has spawned, and that's it. That's the end of the small vestigial activation. Okay, let's draw another one.
Oh, and the black token.
Black one, so the mosaic goes off. When activated, place a marker on this card. Okay, so we need a red marker. Let's, for example, use this one. And for here, deal player number damage to all characters on spaces indicated by the marker count. So we have one marker, so shield A goes off.
No,
I'm hit again. No. Okay, that's terrible. That's quite terrible, actually. So it deals, player number damage. That's not too bad, with difficulty 8. Okay, so you're safe. I'm hit again.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I have refreshed my dodge. It was a good call to refresh my reactions. Let's see.
Remember, you roll for
I'm
dodge
rolling
with only one die.
Yes,
But,
It's
not a big problem because I have action that can heal you if you fail. So
yeah, besides, I'm wearing
not a
1 point of armor, so I will at worst receive
Okay,
1 point of
so
damage.
let's
Let's do
see.
this. So that's 7. I have failed. I'm get 2 damage reduced by 1, so I receive 1 point of damage.
And you failed a test?
So I'm getting a fate token.
Yeah.
And my dodge is spent. I still have block, holy protection, and counter, but my dodge is spent until my next activation. Right, with 3 white tokens added to the bag recently, I think we should get it this time. Okay,
and you
yeah.
were right.
Yeah.
You were activated.
So this
During
leaves
this
us
round?
only one option. Only you were not active yet, so let's activate you. So you're playing a Bolgrim Hunter, who's a healer and a shooter, and you have some supporting things.
Yes, I'm looking at the current situation. Vestigials are quite far from me, so I think I'm safe. I'm standing on the space without shield icon,
Yeah,
so
but
I'm also safe.
an important thing to keep in mind is that shield B is the next to go off. So these spaces are risky for us.
So I could get closer to Archivist and hit him, but I think it would be wiser to shoot and to do that. I will go with support action. I have take aim, so I must roll for intellect. I need 3 dice.
Sure. And I'll get additional dice because I can support you with 2.
But I think let's save this additional dice for attack, because take aim will give me bonuses to my shoot action.
Okay. So, for the actual shoot. Okay.
Yeah. So first I'm taking aim. I need an 8, and I got 1 8. With 1.
So, if you've passed the test, take aim turns the card over. So, most of the action cards have just a blank gray space on the back, but some of them actually do something once you've used them, as long as they are turned the gray side up.
Yes, I succeeded. So now I got the bonus when attacking with ranged. So it's I need a weapon with keyword ranged. I can refresh this card to set difficulty to 6 and roll 1 die more.
So you get a bonus die, and your difficulty is lower for one attack with
And I
a ranged
think I
weapon.
will now take advantage of that.
Okay.
So
you're
I will try to shoot the Archivist with my bow. I roll for agility, so I have 2 dice. I have 1 die more for take aim because I will use this card.
I will use Crucial Combat Insight, which allows me to support you with 2 dice. So that will be plenty of damage if we pull it off.
I think if I have something more, but no, I will end with this. So we can roll.
Okay, that's...
What happened?
Not many successes, actually. Do you want me to reroll mine? No, you have
yes,
6.
because I
Difficulty of 6,
use
yeah.
take aim. Normally, difficulty of the roll is
Yeah, it's
set
dictated by the enemy, so for the Archivist it would be a 10. But
I
it's
use
6
this
because
card,
of
it's
take aim.
6. So I refresh this card. We have 3 successes. So I have 3 successes. +1 shoot deals success number of damage. A bow gives me 1 additional success, so it's 4 damage to the Archivist. And I use the shoot action also.
So 4 damage tokens
4.
on the Archivist. And his health is 2 times the player number plus 12. So it's 16. And we've dealt 4 so far. Yeah, we'll have to do better to bring him down.
I think you should try to hit him.
Yes, but it will happen in the next combat round, because when all activations are made, when every player acted once and every enemy acted at least once, we go to a new round and all tokens go back to the bag. So let's do it right now. All activation tokens return to the bag, and we are starting a new round. Alright, we're starting a new round, and we're starting the round with a fresh activation. Let's hope for the best, and that's a dual token. So if a dual token is the first one, we can choose which side to use. So we're obviously choosing white, but who goes first?
I think you should start, because you have some cards you can refresh.
Yeah, again,
and also
my defensive reaction is used up right now, and I have more cards to refresh.
And I think it's time to finally hit the big guy.
Yeah, we should smite him, definitely. We need to
so
pour some damage. Okay, so I'm activating myself. This refreshes nearly all of my cards, because some cards have a special restriction, and my command card will not refresh at the start of my turn. I need to spend fate to refresh it, and since our bag is really stacked in our favor, I'm not refreshing the command, and I'm not using this again, especially since I have to save my fate tokens for the incoming attack. So at first I need to close the distance. There's one spot here that's adjacent to the enemy, but it's not in the range of the next shield that goes off. So I'm using the move action. That's one of the basic actions that don't have their own cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My move is 8, and it's barely enough to reach him, but I am in melee range, and I'm using a guided smite. My strongest attack, but it has one important weakness. It's a strength-based attack, and my strength is not really that high. I am an agility-based paladin, so to pull off a guided smite, I need a good roll. So, do you have anything that could support us?
Yes, I can support you with my combat insight. And I think it's a good moment to use this.
Yes, I also have a support card, but support cards, I have a crucial combat insight, even better one, but I can only support an ally. So the diagram on each card shows clearly what can and can't be targeted. And I can't target myself with crucial combat insight, so I have to rely on your support. So let's use guided smite. I roll for strength, so that's 1 die for me.
I roll 1 die for my combat insight. I use the card.
Yeah, and
let's try.
Hope for the best. Okay, so that's a pretty bad roll. But you also have the luck card.
Yes, I can reroll my die without spending fate. And it's also a good moment to use this. So let's try. But it's still not enough.
Yes. Okay, so let's start using my fate. So I'll pay 1 to reroll this die. And it's still not enough because he's very defensive. He has defense of 10. And we really have to hope that this one lands. Okay, so I'm spending my last fate token. And it lands. Okay, finally. So the attack lands, and it deals an additional damage in form of a Divinum die. And I will use my special card from the Heirloom Signet, Release Fate Power, that grants me an additional Divinum die. So my first Divinum die is 2, and I'm adding a second roll, it's 6, so it's 8 on the Divinum die. The base is 1 damage from 1 success, plus 1 damage from the sword, and that's it. So 2 plus 8 means 10 damage.
And it's, I think it's enough for us to, or not? No.
No, it's not enough.
But
right.
it's nearly enough.
It's nearly enough. We have 14 damage on the guy, and he has 16 health.
But it was quite
But
a
it
powerful
was,
action.
yeah, it was close enough. Okay, so basically he has 2 health points left. So if we get to activate you, we might have a chance of taking him down.
Okay, let's see. And it's dual
token. No,
so
it's
unfortunately,
black. Yeah,
as you activated.
Since I was activated previously, it's a black token, and he's the first in line. So we get to activate him, and he place him in any triangle spaced farthest from any character. So it's simple because he only has 1 triangle space possible. Yeah. Okay. And then he screams. Each character with at least 1 terror loses 1 terror and receives damage, and each other character gains 2 terror. Ooh. Oh, that's painful. So it's probably a good time to talk about elimination from combat. Anytime your health drops to 0 or you get 4 terror, you are eliminated. It doesn't mean you're dead. Other players can still use actions to bring you into the combat by reducing your terror or by raising your health, but every time you're eliminated, you get an injury, basically. And injuries are what kills your character eventually. If you stack up 3 injuries, your character is dead. So if you get eliminated during combat several times, you can die, and if you, over a course of several combats, stack up the injuries, you can also die. But the good news is we can deal with the injuries after combat. We just need to win.
Yes. You should treat hit points more like your stamina, not your health.
Yes, exactly, because there are many easy ways to refresh hit points. Injuries are more difficult to deal with, but fortunately we're not there yet. We're quite okay when it comes to health, but I would worry about terror.
And a character who was eliminated from the combat could be brought back, for example, with actions that heal hit points or effects that remove terror, but with another elimination, this character gains another injury. So it's a risk for
it's
player.
Risky sometimes to bring back a character if you know he can be eliminated again. Okay, so basically we have 2 terror, so we have to be really careful about getting too close to those books because they will grant us terror when they get to activate, if they get to activate next. And that's it. Let's draw again. Yeah.
Okay. So we go with another activation. And it's white token.
White, yeah, so let's activate you. And do you have a good way?
At first I refresh my cards. And
I have a crucial combat insight that gives you 2 dice. So let's use this and let's get him down. We only need 2 HP.
I think, what can I use from my cards? I can take aim again, but it needs from me, it needs an additional roll. So probably I will charge at the Archivist and attack him with my spear. Because
it's a strength-based attack. Your strength is
quite high.
So if you can close the distance, hitting him with a spear makes sense.
And let's try this. My move value is 6, so it's enough to reach the archivist. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Actually, you don't have to get in touch with him if you don't want
Yes,
to,
because
the spear attack has range.
But I think I will take a risk this time. I use my first action card and roll for strength.
Yes, and I will support you with 2 dice. Using my combat insight.
I use 3 dice. And okay, let's check what happens. And I have critical hit, and I think that's enough.
Yeah, I have a 10, so that's 3 base damage plus 1 from the spear. That's 4 damage.
And we have reached HP of the archivist.
Yes, so, but it doesn't mean we have immediately won. Right now, we would go to log 1, entry 160 in the storybook. And we won't spoil too much, but let's just say, let's check, yes. This fight is not over yet, because fights with some enemies, especially bosses, might have more than one phase. But this is something we won't spoil for you now. We have won this first phase with reasonable losses. You have full HP but 2 terror, I have 2 terror, and I was hit once.
I think this terror may be crucial in the next...
Yeah, but we won't read what happens next. You will have to discover it for yourself in the full game. So, that's everything we wanted to show you today. We're at the end of the video.
In this showcase, we didn't included all the mechanics that are included in combat.
Yes, this particular combat encounter, for example, didn't feature too much of a cover.
Or we have dangerous terrain. But don't be afraid. We want to keep combat rules similar to like the rest of the game. So we don't want to overwhelm you with mechanics.
Yeah, so there are some small rules like pushing, like dangerous terrain, but they are all fairly straightforward and simple. And I think one more important thing to say is that everything you've seen so far is still subject to change, because we are testing, even at this early stage, we are testing the game with a wide group of external testers, and we are introducing the best of their feedback into the game. So the general roadmap for the rest of the time that's left before the campaign is that in September we plan to have a final prototype. Final, which means with final graphic assets, with semi-final rules, and this prototype is what you will see in the official reviews of the game. We'll send this to the various YouTubers and reviewers before the campaign. But you will also be able to see it for yourself before the campaign, because the game goes to Essen with us. Yeah. So Essen Spiele 2024, we will be there with fans of Evershade, and you can expect more information about this later, but some people will be able to see the game in a more final form even before the crowdfunding campaign. And I think that's everything we had to say, so thanks for sticking with us for all 3 of those development videos. Have a nice day, and we'll see you later. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.